fact, parents today may have been hippies themselves and are to be blamed for not knowing about certain realities of the real world. Words to touch people in their relaxed, mundane existence can build up morale. The language of business and feelings is also the language of love. The community poet nourishes the roots of meaning in popular verse. Shall I continue? Okay, today the word is, and this is from 2008, building community in the face of globalization and economic disparity. Having an alternative lifestyle is only one aspect of the world of the writer today. The alienated poet, as we were talking, has a poetic image is as dead now as that of the gentleman poet of a rhyming couplet culture was in the days of Wordsworth. You know, the cool poetry is like, you know, in the 18th century when it rhymed and it was witty, but it didn't really tap deep feelings. It is worthwhile to speak the average language to bring the reader moral nuggets useful to navigate life. I find this interesting. Political topics and the way they are discussed over the supper table, I think those who have been parents knows about that, are included in the concept of community writing. You can stop me and take a break.
No.
The unusual aspect in which poetry is presented to the mind is partly a prose and partly self-expression. The inner truth that the poet tries to portray needs a social surrounding to develop it. We're almost finished. Community writing appears to be simple on the surface. People might call it amateur. It's only, you know, in our group, paperback writers, everybody knows each other. You know, and mostly. And it's a small group, but anyways, that's the nature of community writing. Community writing appears to be simple on the surface. The extreme situations or points of view bring a freshness different from the users of a decayed, cool poetic form. Mystical or religious verse may use traditional language. You know, if a person wants to write a poem about God, he can just write in a traditional way. Almost finished. Playwrights have used members of a local community group as actors. David Finario did that. After he stopped putting on the shows at the Centaur, he went into community groups to do it because he wanted to get right to the people, I guess. Some poets have a primary audience or market in the interest group they belong to. A lot of political poets or different groups that have different mission statements, they write on that theme. Although they may aim at greatness, it is their flaws that make them interesting. Their humanity makes for the close reading of their poetic message. Most community writers are what you call amateur. I don't know if that's better or worse than professional, but they're flawed. You can see their humanity. Okay. Rhyme and meter matter in the sense that Primo Levi writes, whoever reads good verses wants to take them along with him, remember them, possess them. He's an Italian writer who went through the Holocaust. He's well known. And a lot of the young people, I'm an older person now, don't have much meter and rhyme in their poetry anymore. Okay, now this is the last paragraph. Therefore, they, referring to community writers, use the simple expression with a rhythm to open the window to the local content, universalized later to a wider audience. Rap and slams return to the auditory roots of verse. Incantations and charms are a good basis for an interesting form. Now here's the conclusion. Being sentimental, not cool, not that intellectual, being sentimental goes with the chance that the heart and mind may produce something great together. Since the 20th century, all literary criticism has talked about the separation of heart and mind in modern literature. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And I just want to say one more thing. A good friend of mine...
Well, yeah, before you get into that.
Yeah, okay. I'm ready for questions.
So, I would think if I was asking you in 2008, which you were referring to,
yeah,
I would say one of the categories that was that type of poetry would be rap.
Yeah.
Rap
yeah.
is a new form, like 30, 40 years.
And it has rhythm.
It has rhythm, and it speaks to their audience.
And it speaks to to community. You know,
Right.
it builds community. In that era, art was used ideologically to build community, and I'm carrying on that idea.
Is there any other forms of new poetry that you would be referring to,
Of
other
what?
than
What
rap?
was poetry?
New poetry, new forms of poetry besides rap.
No, but
I
well,
mean,
what's it called?
any poets that you would think about come to mind?
I know some community writers. There's a guy named Norman Araki. There's a guy named Harry Fox. There's a few. I have a friend in San Francisco. His name is Cass Brayton. There are community writers, but they're not. You know, they don't win the Griffin Prize or anything.
Right,
You know,
right.
but that's the milieu I'm in. And I thank you for the interview. And I want to say one more thing. A good friend of mine just passed away, a great man, Dan Phillip. So I kind of dedicate this launching in his memory.
And he is
He was head of the Black Coalition, La Ligue Noire, and he fought segregation in the taxi industry. A great man, and at the end I visited him once in every so often. And anyway, so that's it.
so. Thank you very much for this latest
Yeah.
chapbook,
Thank you.
and may the paperback writers
Continue.
continue.
Is there a chance you have any more venues in mind, Mark?
Yes, anybody who's watching this in any city in North America, and this is going out to people on Facebook who live everywhere, let us know. Pay for our transportation there, put us up for a few days, and we will actually recite at any venue, in any locale,
Anything you want.
anything you want.
Okay, thank you.